Previously on Balls.
We are chuffed to have on the line a former Bafana player, Bradley Carnell. Bradley, good afternoon. Welcome to Balls Visual Radio. Thanks for joining us.
Hi there, good afternoon. Thank you very much, Shane. Nice chatting to you.
Yeah, nice to speak to you. And on the back of a Bafana goal, which I'm sure everyone's very happy about.
Yeah, definitely. And, desperate times call for desperate measures. And it's great to see Coach Gordon Ingerson gone with a new face to this team today, no less than 5 changes. So, and you can just see the commitment and the passion that they're carrying the hopes of the nation. And you can see that sometimes it can work to your, into disaster formats when you put too much pressure on the team. But they're pressing high up the field, and they're not letting the Angolans set up from the back and keep possession and that. So it's fantastic to see. Let's just hope they can do it for another 45 minutes.
Yeah, and I suppose Gordon had to do something special on the back of what was a really rather average performance in the first game.
Yeah, sure. I mean, even the news that went to also the German websites. I'm in contact with the German websites and the news front every day, and that was sort of dubbed there as a boring and dull display for the Afcon opener. So, the sort of negative headlines reaching foreign shores as well, which is never a great advert for South African football. So, yes, you did see the pressures of Coach Gordon Ingerson. They haven't scored, in the last couple of games. And, changing 5 players, which should have been your starting 11 just 4 days ago, to have changed, almost 50% of your squad, doesn't show the big sign of faith. So he's gone to listen to the critics, to the journalists, to everybody else, and he's forced to have made these changes. And 1 or 2 injuries picked up along the way, Chawangu as well. But yeah, you can just see that, it's all not plain sailing there for him. And he is really thinking about what he does, and he's also already lost confidence in what his starting lineup was.
Yeah, and you see that we talk about the changes. He dropping Sepiwe Chabalala, Renelwe Lecholonyane, Letlonolo Majoro, and of course Thabo Matlaba. Kagiso Dikachwi, who obviously being the one through injury.
Yeah, 100%.
I just want to ask you, we kind of banked on that Cape Verde game as the, and I put it in inverted commas, the easy one out of the group to bag for a victory.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that it's going to be a tougher one against Angola this afternoon?
Look, judging by the way they set about their stall today, they just seem to be a lot more committed. They just seem to be a lot more motivated for some strange reason. I mean, I don't see why players should lack motivation at such a spectacle as a tournament of this nature and of this stature. So I don't know. It's always funny to see why we have to be forced to do things rather than just do them from the onset. Always playing catch up is usually harder than doing it from the beginning. So we should have just gone about this professional attitude, what I'm seeing here today and witnessing in this first 45 minutes. But as the Germans always say, a game is 90 minutes long. So let's just hold our thumbs and keep going and make sure that they get this result.
And your thoughts on the formation this afternoon, 4-4-3 as opposed to 4-4-2?
Yeah, look, I mean, Bernard Parker does offer quite a lot. He's quite versatile. You can use him as a striker or down that left-hand side. There's a lot of interchanging I see here. I think, for me, Dean Furman, one of the players, has definitely kept his head, kept his cool within that defensive role. And in terms of keeping shape, with so much attacking players, you need to keep the shape at the back there, which is vital. You need to make sure that you have the extra one man. If you lose the ball going forward, that you don't get exposed on a sudden counter attack. So it's good to see him there flying in the tackles. And you need a break. You need somebody to sort of take over that responsibility as well. Just to take that game by the scruff of the neck. And when it gets dirty, and we need to have a dirty performance. We don't care how we win. We need to just win with a good with a 1-0 margin or a 1-goal margin. And we're not going to ask by means how it was done or how pretty it was.
The pitch doesn't look very nice, does it, Bradley? Extremely cut up and poor by the looks of things. What are your comments?
Look, I'm just having a look now. I've seen worse pitches over the last couple of days. I think this one doesn't seem too bad from what I saw at, I think it was the Ivory Coast game. I was really disgusted with the state of that pitch. It was dry. It was, on down the sides, where the center of the park was okay. Down the wings was really in a state that remained to be seen. So this one not too bad. Obviously the climate's all year round. is not too bad, and good temperatures and what have you. So I don't think that we see it again. I'm just having a look, and I really don't see it as bad or as critical as you've seen it. They are far worse.
Okay. Well, listen, it's half-time down in Durban. Bafana leading Angola 1-0. Your thoughts after 45 and your thoughts for the rest of the tournament?
Yes, definitely. I mean, like we've already spoken about, a lot more positive. And what are the chances that our striking department is the department that everybody's talking about, and who comes and saves us? A defender, Sangweni there, just showing and helping us out from a set piece. And let's just hope that we can force one or two more free kicks in and around that big box area. Just to get the likes of Sangweni, Kumalo in there on the back of the end of the thing, because I do believe that Angola are a team that they never say die attitude. They're a workhorse, they're a dirty team as well. They get stuck in, and we just need to meet them and come to the party with regards to that, and stay focused and stay committed for the full 90 minutes. As per the tournament, the progression of the tournament, this game is vital, a win at all costs, and that gives us 3 points in the bag, and then we can go with a bit of confidence into the final game against Morocco. So definitely this is this game thread hangs on a thread and on a balance. So if we can get a positive result here, I really do forecast. I mean, everybody was doom and gloom after the first game, and things were spoken about, things were said, and you can just see the turnaround in the players' attitudes, in the players' minds, and hopefully the fans sort of get to that next level of not focusing too much of the team at stake, but let's focus on building a team. We always look at surface tournaments. We look at the World Cup. We look at an Afcon and think that we should judge the team on these performances. In my opinion, far too little work has been done in development. Far too work is being done between tournaments and giving the coach continuity to work with, and just say, irrespective of the results, or irrespective of the results rather, you go on, you work for 4 or 5 years, and then let's assess after that. Us as South Africans, we want to go from zero to hero in the space of 3 minutes, and unfortunately that's not the case, where the other nations have been doing a lot of development building from grassroots football, and we've been made to pay. I mean, 10 years ago I was in the setup and I was just starting out there, and the same problems what you face with today are the same problems as 10, 12, 15 years ago. So it's unfortunate, and even if we progress through the group stages of this tournament, it's by no means that we've restored the pride of the nation.
Who better to tell us than a former Bafana player himself? We spoke to the sports minister yesterday, and we actually had an extensive discussion about it earlier this week, talking about how money and effort needs to go into grassroots development, especially when it comes to football. We've got all these old Bafana stars, with their feet up, doing nothing at the moment, that could be put to good use in scouting talent.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's part of the legacy program. It should be something of giving back to football. And if you just look at over the last couple of years, everyone who should be involved with football has kind of been put on the sideline for a while and kept warm and promised certain things, or even not even, and it's really you look at every setup, and there are plenty of faces within the footballing environment going on and progressing with the game, whether it's in the coaching department, whether it's in the managerial department, but just giving something back and experiencing something. Because I tell you what, once you've experienced an overseas way of life, in a footballing tradition, in a footballing heritage, that is so valuable, and unfortunately the people that seem to have the opinions and seem to have the critics are people that haven't really experienced the different way of life. And it's been a year or two now that I've said the commercial aspect of the footballing game in South Africa has overtaken the football itself, because I grew up striving to get to Europe. That was my dream. It was my only way out, basically, into a professional atmosphere, into a professional environment. Now the guys are looked after here. We get good salaries, which I'm not denying. Everybody needs a good salary. Everybody should get paid. But I just think the commercial aspect has progressed to the good of the game, but the footballing itself has not progressed on a par with the commercial aspect.
I couldn't agree with you more. Bradley Carnell, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Let's hope your predictions are correct, and that Bafana have what it takes to impress us, and hopefully, like you said, you just need one game to turn a tournament around, and hopefully this is it this afternoon. Thanks for your time 100%. On Balls Visual Radio.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Right.
There you go, Bradley Carnell, former Bafana player, chatting to us about Bafana, about their game down in Durban this afternoon, and also about what needs to happen if South Africa is going to be a more feared and revered force on the world football stage.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. balls.co.za